Peace, guys. How's it going? Patrick, Conservative Rap. And in this video, we are going to cover more geopolitical financial news, more evidence of the golden age, and how the conservative movement would actually leverage us into a new economic reality. All right, so tariffs are going to have businesses come back to the United States. Lower taxes means more economic activity. Amidst these lower costs, we're going to see a lot of stimulation and a lot of opportunity for us all. So here's some clips about restructuring the monetary order. The founding fathers, as a side note, really knew about the power of tariffs. I am going to quote from Jefferson's second inaugural address. Check this out. The founding fathers specifically knew about the tariffs, the potential to replace domestic tariffs. Check this out. The suppression of unnecessary offices, of useless establishments and expenses, enabled us to discontinue our internal taxes. This is Jefferson, 1805. These covering our land with officers and opening our doors to their intrusions had already begun that process of domiciliary vexation, which once entered is scarcely to be restrained from reaching successfully every article of produce and property. The remaining revenue on the consumption of foreign articles is paid cheerfully by those who can afford to add foreign luxuries to domestic comforts. Right? Check that. The remaining revenue on the consumption of foreign articles is paid cheerfully by those who can afford to add foreign luxuries to domestic comforts, being collected at our seaboards and frontiers only, and incorporated with the transactions of our mercantile citizens. It may be the pleasure and pride of an American to ask what farmer, what mechanic, what laborer ever sees a tax gatherer of the United States. Awesome. All right. Now, Kobisi Letter put this out on X. The number of Americans working multiple jobs currently, right, jumped from 76,000 in March to a record 8.94 million. This now exceeds the 2019 high by over 500,000 people. As a share of employment, multiple job holders rose to 5.5%, the highest since 2009. This comes as 28.47 million people work part-time jobs in the US, the third highest on record. Millions of Americans are working multiple jobs to afford basic necessities. Next, Zero Hedge. Shouts to Tyler Durden. Great articles, great content consistently. I would suggest checking this news source out. U.S. plans port fees for Chinese ships to revitalize American maritime industrial base. The Trump administration announced plans on Thursday, this was last Thursday, to impose new port fees on Chinese commercial vessels, part of broader efforts to revive America's dwindling shipbuilding industry, which officials now view as a national security risk amid urgent need to bolster hemispheric defense across Americas in an increasingly fractured and bipolar world. All right, ships and shipping are vital to American economic security and free flow of commerce, U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer wrote in a statement, adding, the Trump administration's actions will begin to reverse Chinese dominance, address threats to the U.S. supply chain, and send a signal for U.S.-built ships. So, policy changes, U.S.-China trade relations, right? National security concerns tied to the maritime industry. The plans the Trump administration's are outlining here reflect an effort to strengthen the shipbuilding sector and address trade imbalances and vulnerabilities in our supply chain. So notably, these fee adjustments will signal broader geopolitical and economic maneuvers between the two superpowers. So the USTR, and I'm going to quote here, USTR notice continued. A few comments agreed with the proposal, noting that the proposed fees would address trade imbalances, national security, support investment in the American maritime industrial base, and promote higher environmental and labor standards. One commenter suggested that the proposed fees be captured in a U.S. shipbuilding and mariner compensation trust fund to be expended each year for reviving the U.S. merchant marine. Time to make America's shipbuilding industry great again. Again, guys, this is what I'm talking about. The geopolitics of a America First Golden Age agenda. It's not just security and it's not just patriotism. It's not just liberty. It's the economics of it and how it all ties in. Hopefully, this is making sense. And here's more evidence, right? Unusual Whales put this out on X. Just in, billionaire Ray Dalio. I'm worried about something worse than a recession. We have something that is much more profound. We have the breaking down of the monetary order. So just read into that, right? The breaking down of their monetary order is to them worse than a recession. And Bill Mitchell responded also on X. No, it's the monetary order that's based upon victimizing US citizens for the benefit of the rest of the world that's now broken. Trump is fixing it. Of course, you're a giant globalist and this hits your pocketbook, so you don't like it. Awesome. Shouts to Bill Mitchell on X. All right, next, Newt Gingrich. Trump's tariff plan is controlled chaos. President Donald J. Trump's tariff plan is working exactly as he intended. The initial steep tariffs on more than 100 countries roiled markets and sent the mainstream media into hysteria. Some of our trading partners bristled and rattled sabers with relatively small retaliatory plans. So it's just detailed commentary on the administration's tariff policies, potential implications, and then it goes into those historical perspectives, like what I quoted about Jefferson earlier in this post. So modern ideas for redistributing tariff revenues to benefit Americans. It's a different economic order that we're entering into. All right. So again, think about the gold card with the immigration, port fees, technology sales. Trump is running the country like a business. We're a consumer society. Manufacturers have left the country and we import because of a central bank, really. We're not producing that much, we're importing goods, and that means that we can collect a lot of tariffs across the world. What do you guys think? Is this evidence of a new Trump agenda? I had a discussion with someone earlier today, and they were talking about layoffs at some government institutions and basically government funded jobs coming to an end. I think it's a small price to pay for the new reality we're walking into. Feel free to comment below. Remember to check out X for more clips from me, TikTok, and Instagram for more rhymes. Thanks for taking a listen and look forward to more soon.